Welcome to Bangkok. This is our first day of really exploring the city, and we wanted to try and see how much we can actually fit into one day in this gigantic city. And we're already at our very first stop, which is the Grand Palace, and it's looking amazing. We're already done with visiting the Grand Palace. It was really impressive, and we're now heading onwards to our next place. But I just wanted to say that right around the corner from the Grand Palace is also another beautiful temple. That's one of the top highlights in Bangkok, which we already visited last week, so we're not going to include it today, but it's called Wat Pho. And you can literally walk there from the Grand Palace. So if you want to do Bangkok in one day, we would really suggest you include that one as well. Honestly, the Amulet Market was kind of weird. Like, it was definitely not pretty to walk around. And also we're kind of wondering, like, there were hundreds of vendors and they sell these tiny amulets for, I think according to the signs, it was like 20 baht, which is like 50 cents. Like, how do they actually make a living? Like, there were so many of them and barely any tourists. But I guess it's still worth seeing. Like, it's really a little bit absurd. But we're going on to the next place, which is another temple. The temple that we just visited has the biggest golden Buddha statue in the whole world, and it's really gigantic. And there's a really funny story around it that we read on the internet yesterday. The statue is already a couple hundred years old, and apparently at some point in the history they were kind of afraid that it would be stolen, and so they plastered it over to make it look different. And then a couple hundred years passed and everyone kind of forgot that it was actually golden and not just plaster. And then in the 1900s, someone during some renovations knocked it over accidentally, and they figured out that it was actually gold underneath, and that's the Buddha that we can look at now. We just finished our tour through the Jim Thompson House, and it was really interesting. It's this dude from the 1900s who brought together a couple different Thai houses and put them into one gigantic house, which was his home. And it's really interesting to see everything come together. And also he was a big collector of art from Thailand, and it's super interesting to see all of the pieces. And what was maybe the most interesting thing to us is that he died age 61 in the Cameron Highlands in Malaysia on holiday, which is where we just visited like only a couple weeks ago. And apparently he just disappeared while hiking, and there is like a million different theories what happened to him. So that's very sad. But apart from that, it's definitely worth visiting. You should totally plan it into your Bangkok itinerary. So this was our last stop in Bangkok because it's just so hot.
Yeah.
And we're sweating so much. But in case you still have the energy, there is other options. You might want to check out one of the many malls, or take a stroll through Chinatown in the evening, or go on a cruise along the river. For us, it's back home to the hotel though. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, so we'll see you in the next one.